We're going to do a rock salt project today. Yay! Okay, so first off, just so you know, prior to me starting the camera, I put rock salt into the colander and I shook it to get rid of all the dust right into my trash can. I seem to have more luck with it not being quite as foggy. Just the clarity is a little bit better. So if you're wanting to try it, I suggest doing it that way. Now then, we're going to step right into this. We're going to do a tray today. And we have the clear resin already mixed up. Now then, this is homemade rainbow alcohol ink. Basically, I used a little metal ball in there. That way it makes it where I can shake it up and mix it easier. But I put a little bit of the different interference colors that I wanted in it with the 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. 99% would work though. And so let's get started. We're going to start off by going ahead and coloring the resin. I figured it would be able to combine a little easier than me trying to put all the powders in and having little powder puffs that would slowly float up. And with your homemade rainbow alcohol ink, you do need to shake it frequently, as in before you go to start using drips, shake it. If you set it down to stir and then decide you want a little bit more, and you pick it back up, shake it again before you start putting more drops in, okay? I think that looks pretty good, actually. So, what I want to do is spray this mold all around that outer edge. There we go. And nice and everywhere, all around. There we go. Okay. Now I want to pour some of the resin right into that little ditch that's there. And that's what it looks like when the mold is upside down. When it's right side up, it'll be a lip. Right now, it's a ditch. Get a thin coat on the top. Alright. Let's go ahead and start putting the rock salt in what's left. Press it down in. Start mixing it. I think the alcohol's had a chance to evaporate off. So real quick, I can see some bubbles sitting up top. Just trying to pop some of those. Alright, now I'm going to add a few more drops. Of the, oops, haha. Yep. We're going to make some of it extra colorful. Now, start dropping in the rock salt. Let's start pressing it down. We don't want to have it above the lip of the mold. Make sure the rock salt made it over into the outer edges. Because actually, I want to keep it below the level so that I can put a thin layer of black on the back. see if the interference rainbow alcohol ink that I made is able to show up with a little bit better with the aid of the black on the back. We'll have to wait and see. That's why, being this tray, it's not going to be super thick. I want this piece out. It's not as clear. I'll put them in something else. Didn't want to leave too much of an empty, spacey gap there. Alright, I'm bringing it back real quick because the curing machine has finished doing its job. I let them cure for I think I set it for an hour, and then I left it for another hour because I was busy doing stuff. So, is it 100% cured? No, but it is firm enough. It's going to prevent the black from seeping into the rock salt. It's sealed well with the semi-clear resin. So we can go ahead and put the black backing on now. And da-da-da-da. And I want to bring it back because that way you can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to have it be just regular black. I want to make it a little sparklier. That way, if anything shows through, it won't be plain black. And if you flip it over, it won't be plain black. So, let's put, this is just some black holographic glitter. Gonna put some of that in. And that way it ends up with a little extra sparkle. A little shimmer sparkle. Yay! And some of this. It's like the iridescent little flake pieces. I got them a while back on Temu. So I want to pour some of them in. Most of them are going to be covered, yes. But if some show through, I thought that would give a really cool effect on the outer, on the bottom. Like I said, for the most part, they're not going to show. They may float some, or if they showed through. Either way. Alright, let's finish it up in that kitty cat. I think the little kitty cat's going to have to just suffer with not quite enough to fill it up, because the tray needs just a hair more. Alright, you know what I need to do? There's a little piece of scrap resin. There's a bubble that didn't, or a little marble that didn't form the way it should. So let's put that down in there. That helps raise it up a little bit. Yay. See if I can find something else. Alright, good thing I'm about done because I just split my glove. But we have a couple more little balls. Little doodad scrap pieces. Drop them in. Get them completely buried. That way we'll never see them. Alright, we are back. And I would say it's time to unmold, but technically I've already unmolded. So we're going to do it this way. Don't ask what happened to that video. It's not important. Okay, so here we go. A little kitty cats to start with. Now then, this is how the two that I was able to put the black backing on came out. And then this one was where it was all of the black. And look at that. He came out absolutely adorable. Very pretty in my opinion. And And here's the butterfly. I think the butterfly came out beautiful with the way the rainbow ink ended up. It really went to the very edges really, really well at a thicker amount. And it really just helps that butterfly pop. And having the black on the back, it doesn't do much, but it really does do more than what you think, because it makes this a lot more obvious, but not overpowering. So the black actually helped the butterfly just stand out a little more. Here's the big one. Now, I'll admit, I want to tell you, when I originally unmolded it, I was very disappointed. I was so disappointed. I finished doing what I was doing, and when I was done, because I tried to make the video, I shut the camera off, and I just walked out of the room. That was it. I walked out. Then I came back about an hour later. I had fresh eyes. I was able to look at it from the standpoint of just someone getting to come and see it, not from the creator's eyes. And that's when I was reminded, especially for all of you that are newer to resin, just remember, we are always our worst critics. So, without further ado, looky, oh, a little fuzzy, looky there. You can see the sparkly of the black glitter that I had put in. Plus, we have those little plastic iridescent flakes. And then here we go. It actually, you see just a slight shimmer. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera at the moment. I'm going to take a picture of it out in the sunlight just to help bring it out more, I hope, for you in a picture. I can see them. I can actually see some of these iridescent flakes peeking through from underneath. So I'm glad that I put them into the black. But there is definitely the shimmer. I realized that this is not that just wild and crazy wow factor with this one. This tray, it has more of that just subtle, elegant beauty, if that makes sense to you. So I'm actually very pleased with the way it looks. And here, let me show you. Now, I thought, first, the butterfly, I can maybe glue it onto the base here, which would take up space, so it wouldn't have as much usable space. But I thought the butterfly really did look quite pretty with the tray. And then I thought, I wondered what the kitty cats would look like. They kind of lack. The black, to me, really did not do them any favors until I put them on the tray. And to me, the black with the legs, it actually helps accent the little cats more. So, see, I was disappointed in the cats originally until after the fact, until I was able to come back and look at everything from a little more objective point of view. So I thought about gluing them on. I think I'm going to leave them loose though, so that they can be set on it for decoration when it's not being used. But if you need to use the entire tray, you can remove them. Because I'm thinking I'm going to give this to my niece for her birthday. Why? Because she loves kitties. And I think she will love these two little kitties. I might give her this one too, but it's so adorable. All right, guys. Take a look at the pictures at the end, and I will see you later. Bye.